Okay, welcome to the Raymore Parks and Recreation Board, July 28, 2026. And I will call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. and I will conduct a roll call. Member Harrison.
Here.
Member Scott.
Present.
Member Collier.
Present.
Member Cooper.
Present.
Member Mapes.
Present.
Member Lupardis.
Present.
And we have Member Wilson is absent. We do have a quorum. So that is 6. 1 absent. All right. Join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Director, I'd like to nominate Josh Collier as presiding officer for tonight's meeting.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Thank you. Do you accept the nomination, Mr. Collier?
I accept.
Thank you. Nominations are closed. All in favor? 6-0. Josh, you are in charge, sir.
Thank you very much. Moving on through the agenda, personal appearances. Seeing I have no personal appearances, we're going to move on. Consent agenda. Request a motion to approve the minutes from the April 28th, that is April 28th, 2026 meeting. Need a motion?
Mr. Collier, I move that we accept the minutes from the April 28th meeting.
Mr. Cooper makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Mr. Mapes seconds. Any discussion? Request a vote. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. All in favor?
Very good.
5-0. 5-0. All right, moving on to staff reports. Director Mustaine, please.
Thank you, sir. I'll ask Mr. Brennan to give a recreation report.
Thank you, sir. Members of the board, I have submitted a written report, but I wanted to highlight a few items as we near the end of July. We are getting close to our fall athletic registration deadlines hitting. We actually, this past Sunday was our baseball, softball, and t-ball registration deadline. We are still taking applications or registrations through the end of tomorrow. After that point, children, if they're interested in playing, would have to go on a waiting list. We are currently at 300 children registered for the fall season, which is an increase of 30 kids from last year. And then upcoming deadlines that we have soccer and social soccer this Sunday, August 2nd, and then the following Sunday on August 9th, we have our volleyball and flag football registration deadlines. And then my plan is next month, if he's available, to have athletic coordinator Nick Cook to come give you guys a report where we'll have the total of our fall registration applicants. We are currently nearing the end of our summer camp program. We had, as of right now, we have 141 children registered. Last year we had 115, so we saw an increase of about 25 children for this summer. We only have 94 registered this week. I say that a little tongue-in-cheek because that's still a lot of kids, but the prior 2 weeks we had over 100 kids registered at our summer camp. And then I just want to take this opportunity to remind people we still have our farmers market ongoing, actually currently right now. It is Tuesdays, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock at TB Hanna Station. With that, that concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Brennan? Director Mustaine, go ahead.
Thank you. I'll have Mr. Rulo give a parks report.
Thank you. I had submitted a report also. Just wanted to hit on a few items. I'd like to thank the Public Works Department for all the help that they gave us in the past month with the all the soccer events and the 4th of July event. They helped us park cars at the 4th event, and they also cleaned up some ditches for us with their some of the mowers that they have. Just wanted to say thank you very much for that. Just so you all know, coming to the end of the summer, I lost one of my seasonals this week, so I'm down to one. Should have him for the should have Caleb, I think, till right at the end of August, and then we'll be back to the norm. And also, not sure if anybody has gone down to the disc golf course lately, but it is definitely has some changes down there, and hopefully that project will be seeing the completion here pretty quick. The guys have built 2 walking bridges from hole to hole, and the new tee box signs are in, so everything's shaping up, looking pretty good. So that concludes my report, and would be happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Rulo? Thank you, Mr. Rulo. Director Musting.
Thank you. I also have submitted a written report, just a couple quick updates. First of all, right now, most of what I'm doing is capital improvement plan and the budget process with the city administration staff, getting prepared for to bring that to the board in 2 weeks. So we'll discuss that more in our work session, but we will be holding our annual special meeting to pass the budget prior to the city council's review of the budget in August. So that's coming up. And working through some capital improvement projects. Currently, the 2 going outside of the disc golf are the plaza at Hawk Ridge Park. We have re-engaged that and working with our designers, our engineers to get the plans out. We hope to have that on the street for bidding by the end of the month of August. And the Good Parkway study that was combined with the watershed study for the whole watershed area in Ward 1. Physical work started today. They were out within the creek in that area of Good Parkway, walking that, beginning the survey, and just taking some photos, things of that nature, getting prepared for the bulk of the work within that. So just a quick update on that. I did also want to say thank you for attending the city council meeting. For those of you that were able to attend during 2 weeks ago for the National Parks and Recreation Month, Parks and Recreation Month. So appreciate you guys coming out for that, and for supporting us during our events of the 250th celebration of America and the World Cup, the watch parties. We had some pretty busy days there for a couple weeks towards the end of July, end of June, 1st of July. So we appreciate you guys being patient with us and supporting us and attending those events. I know I saw several of you out there at the events, so we appreciate that. Concludes our staff reports for this evening. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the director? Go ahead, Mapes.
Yeah, I just had one. The chlorine barrel. Is that regular maintenance, or is that
I'm
for
sorry.
the spray park? The chlorine barrel at the
Barrel?
spray ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the chemical that we
So
use.
is that regular maintenance, or is that something that went wrong that we weren't anticipating?
It's not regular maintenance, but it is regular maintenance. So it's not you replace it when it's out.
Okay.
It's not like every 2 weeks you replace it. You run the barrel and then you replace it. So that would be one of the. Is it 1 or 2 a year?
2 a year.
Yeah.
And that's just the supply of chlorine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got
Yes.
it. Okay, I didn't know if it was actually a mechanical part of the system that.
No, that
needed
part
to-
actually works.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
Any other questions for the director?
I do want to make one more announcement that we all missed on is did you talk about it? Okay, so the last big event of the year that we do is kind of our before school blowout is the mini mud run, the Rugged Rainmore. So that is coming up Friday night, August 21st. We invite you as board members to come out, volunteer. We'll put you at a station and kind of see how that event works. It's at Hawk Ridge Park, Begins at 5:30, 7:30. It's usually right at about a 2-hour event, and those kids are wore out and done, and you go home and take a shower and clean up, and we do all the rest. So if you want to volunteer for that, we're happy to have you. For those that are listening or need to sign up, registration's still there. You can run the course as many times as you want, $35, and you get a free t-shirt. So make sure if you have any friends or family with kids ages 4 to 12, getting ready to go back to school, want to get muddy and have some fun, we'll be there Friday night, August 21st. And that concludes staff report.
Any final questions for the director? All right, that concludes staff report. We'll move on to unfinished business. We have no unfinished business. Going to move on to new business. Video marquee signage policy. Director Mustine, go ahead.
Thank you. So this particular item is the policy that will govern how we advertise or what we place on our video signs. Todd and I have been drafting this policy over the past several months. It's been ready. We just haven't met, and unfortunately the sign ended up getting installed before we were able to do this, which was okay with us. We wanted to get that sign up and running and operational before the Spirit of America event, and I think those that were there and saw how pretty impressive it is. So this is really just kind of coming back to the board. We've been very limited on what we've allowed on that video board thus far, just keeping it local within our own programs and stuff. But this policy does govern that, and it allows us to say no to things that we don't want to do, and it allows us to say yes to things that we think are appropriate. But it is also a policy that the park board needs to approve. So we sent this out to you last week. Hopefully you've had a chance to review it. And if you're comfortable with that, we are seeking an approval tonight to get this policy in place. But I will say it's not the end of, like, this will be the last time you see it. If we can do an annual review of this as things change and the way we work and the way we advertise change, we may want to come back and review this. But right now, if you've read it, it's very basic city programs, mostly Parks and Rec, some Arts Commission stuff, and then the city communications department can take over for emergencies during extreme weather, things of that nature, but really not selling advertising or advertising for anything else. Just keeping this in-house is really what we're looking at doing at the time being. So it's a strict policy, but I will also say it's pretty straightforward. There's no real room for allowing outside folks in yet until we get a feel for how we want to govern this, because we do have another sign coming up at Hawk Ridge Park, and we may want to come back to this policy and reevaluate that once both signs are installed. That is that's our proposal. Obviously, that you have the right to table this, and we can look at it more in depth. Or if you like what is presented before you, we ask for approval with that. I'm happy to answer any questions. We can go through it at length, however long you need to tonight. But that is the conclusion of staff report, and staff does seek approval of the policy.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the director? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't see anything in here with like hours that the sign is on. Is the signs permitted to be on like 24/7, or are there hours that you would say maybe 11 to 7 a.m. or some kind of hours that we're looking at to, have these not operating? Or I was just curious. I didn't see it in this policy.
You're right. It's not addressed in there. At this time, the signs will operate 24/7 as they're on, Madison Street. However, we do have the option to turn them off or put them in sleep mode at any time. So if that's something that we want to address in this policy in the future, we can include that. If the board prefers that we have a time where we shut it off, I mean, it's literally us making that decision and turning that off. The park officially closes at 11. I think that's a little early to turn it off. if we want to go kind of in a sleep mode over the hours, the early morning hours, we can absolutely do that. But right now, I'm not aware of any rules that prohibit us from being 24/7.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of folks that live around there may not want it, on, seeing it through their windows all night, stuff like that. So,
That is one thing that we did consider, but knowing where that is, there's really one house that's close, and it kind of faces the opposite direction, the
Sure.
front door. So that particular sign doesn't really invade any space or have any light pollution because it's us or the church or the horse farm there that doesn't have any frontage property or buildings there. So that one wasn't one we were worried about. However, on the Hawkridge Park, as Madison Creek and Madison Valley develop up on the opposite side of Sunset, that may become a concern of just
okay. Yeah,
brightness there.
I don't think I personally have to have it in there to vote for it. I was just wanting to voice that it may be something we look at for when we review this, and I'm sure we'll have some feedback from people once they're installed and they're operating. I'm sure people will have feedback. So that's just one thing I wanted to bring up.
And that might be a scenario where, like I said, as the next one is in the construction, we just kind of monitor and watch how Rec Park works, and then we can address it when the next one comes up, and we review the policy to see if we want any changes. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mapes. Any other questions for the director? Seeing no questions, we will move on for a motion.
Member Collier,
Yes, go ahead.
I move we take a vote on the video marquee signage policy.
Member Cooper makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Mr. Mapes seconds it. Any further discussion about the item? Seeing no further discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. No. Passes 6-0. Moving on to the second agenda item under new business is the mountain bike trail improvement project. Director Mustine, can I have a staff report, please?
Thanks, sir. This particular item in the last work session we had, I believe it was in June, Park Board member Scott presented on behalf of the Mountain Bike Club and the volunteers that work and are putting in the mountain bike trails, a presentation for some project help, some improvements that they would like to do and requested some assistance from our maintenance staff, and a request for some additional funding to help purchase a storage unit a storage container that will be basically transformed into storing their equipment out there, but also an entrance ramp or a lead off drop for their course. The presentation was provided, and the park board seemed favorable for those members that were there. I've included within your packet the slides of what they've asked for as part of the presentation, as well as a part of one of the photos shows the location where it will be, which is up on the northwest side of the park at Hawkridge Park by the exercise loop. Ultimately, what they're asking for is some funding to help purchase and deliver. Our maintenance team will utilize some gravel that's been donated from Member Cooper and provide some plastic for vapor barrier and just additional materials with a grand total of $1,450. I've actually included, in part of our discussion, we've increased that to up to not to exceed $2,000 just in case we need to do a little bit more. We underestimated the price of gravel, things of that nature. What you also see is the part of the presentation includes the conversion of the storage unit, so it's not just a box, but to paint, have a mural on it with sponsorships and make it look good and not look like just a box trailer out there in the middle of the field. So there's a design on there for that. And what we discussed within the meeting was that there would be a time frame in terms of how long it before it's required to be built up and used on and with the ramp and the mural and stuff. I did not include that in this particular approval because we don't know how soon we can get the box here and delivered. So I didn't want to put those time frame on them to and not be able to be met because it took longer to get the storage unit here. So my intention was to approve the purchase of the unit and the moving and installation, and then we as a board will come back and address how long we want to do, and we may have some opportunities for the Arts Commission to come out and help and do some stuff. So I didn't want to limit it all in this one unit. I just wanted to present this as kind of a phase one. Let's get this, if this is what the board wants, purchased and installed so that these volunteers have some place to put their tools and their equipment. I am happy to answer any questions to my knowledge as best as I can, but what we are looking for tonight is an approval to move forward with some available park fund out of our maintenance budget to offset cost for the purchase of this unit and the installation of this unit at the park. And that concludes our staff report.
Any questions for the director?
Yeah, I have
Oops.
a few questions. I missed the meeting, I'm sorry, so maybe you guys already covered this. So this price includes the railing, the stairs, and the roll-in ramp, is that correct?
That I'll have to defer. Well, it's on the, I'm sorry. Within that,
I just didn't see it
it
listed.
does, and on the one page that has the pricing, it does break
It
that
does
down a little
include.
bit.
Railing supplies. Okay. And then I assume this is a company that installs these in several locations. And I guess my concern is the gravel layer, and over time, this piece settling. I guess my question is, this company installs these in other locations. Has this sort of base been all that's needed to keep it in place, or is there? I guess my question is, do we need like a concrete pad for this, or something more permanent, or is this base going to be something that lasts a long time? I see, you got a rock base, and we're on a hill. It's not perfectly even. I'm sure we're going to level it out. I'm just concerned with like erosion and over time it getting crooked or some sort of issue with like that. So that was my concern. I just wanted to see.
I don't see any issue with it, Dan, or Mr. Mapes, sorry. It's actually up on top of the hill. It's flat. We have a vapor tarp underneath the rock. There's probably about 6 inches of rock. Most of the time when people get these Connex boxes, they just sit them on the ground. They don't sink into the ground. I see no issue with this, and believe me, if it was going to be an issue in the middle of my park and an eyesore, I would be speaking up. So I think we're good to go.
It's just because there's a ramp feature and a stair feature, and if the whole thing gets a little off tilt, then those can be messed up. That's why I was concerned. But if you're not concerned, I'm good with it.
Thank you, Mr. Mapes. Any other questions?
I
for
have
the
a couple
director?
questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Harrison.
Thank you. Is Rocky Top, is that a sponsor of the club?
So Rocky Top is a new equipment rental company here in town. They're on
Okay.
the east side of town, and they have sponsored the club specifically. And in exchange for the sponsorship and naming rights, which we will be purchasing a sign that has their name on there in that area, they have been providing heavy equipment for free for the group to use, and so as part of the agreement, their name goes on this for at least 3 years.
Okay. And then is this like in an area where it's like there's a camera on it? Like I'm just concerned about vandalism, or I don't know if that's an issue at the parks. This seems like a target with a mural.
This particular one is not in an area with the camera, which is one of the reasons why we want the storage unit, because everything, we can actually lock things up and protect it better. That's not to say that in the future we don't have cameras installed. Chief Wilson and I have talked extensively about Hawk Ridge Park, and that is a significant area of concern in that particular area or that side of the park, because there's no cameras beyond the playground. And so as we expand the camera and security system, that area will be one that we start. It'll probably be the parking lot first, and then the exercise trail. And there's different ways of doing it, but to answer your question, no, not at the moment.
Okay. Thank you. And then I'm not familiar with these launch pads. It looks dangerous to me. I don't know if we have concerns with people falling or like insurance, like a kid getting on here. It's open to the public, I'm assuming, not just the club. So if a kid gets on here and falls off, what do we do about that? Is that a concern?
Well, I'll defer to Mr. Scott as far as the technical features of it and how that works, but in terms of liability, this would fall under our general coverage. It'd be no different than our skate park or our tennis park.
Okay.
Any open play, those things would be covered under our general liability insurance for the city. So
Okay.
it's a use at your own risk, but it's also, we are covered under any negligence on our part
Yeah.
or liability. So
Okay.
it would be covered under that. But as far as how they use it and all that, I'm not gonna act like I know how that works.
Yeah, that's good. I was just asking for coverage. If there's concerns, we think there'll be like an uptick in injuries for something like
Yes,
this.
and I will say, not to get the cart before the horse, this is the first phase of approval to see if this works. The next is we go and we basically add it on our Midwest Public risk. We do the next step. You know, there's always that, which one do you do first? Do you get permission first in terms of the insurance and then you go fund it, or do you get permission for the funding and then you go start securing all the things? So basically what we're doing is asking tonight, are you okay with this? Can we do this? And then we'll go and see what are all the hoops of actually getting this in.
Okay, thank you.
Good questions. Any other questions for the director? No more questions. Do I have a motion?
Member Collier, I move that we take a vote to approve the Hawk Ridge Park Ridge Trails proposal.
Do you want a budget amount on that for $2,000?
Yeah, that would not to exceed 2,000.
Not to exceed $2,000.
Not to exceed $2,000.
Perfect.
Okay, Mr. Cooper makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Mr. Mapes seconds. Any further discussion? Without any further discussion,
I would like to abstain from the vote.
I was going to get to that. Okay. We got one abstain. With that, all in favor? 5 in favor, all opposed? No opposed, and 1 abstain. All right, moving on to public comments. Seeing nobody in the audience, there's no public comments. Moving on to board member comments. Mrs. Harrison, would you like to start?
No, just want to start by thanking, the park, the maintenance guys for the 250th celebration. That was a huge feat. I know we had lots of weather items pop up, so thank you all for making that happen. So
Thank you. Mr. Scott.
No comment.
Mr. Lapardis.
No comment.
Mr. Mapes.
No comment.
Mr. Cooper.
And no comments at this time.
And then I will just close off and second Mrs. Harrison's comments about the July 4th. I know there's, even the FIFA World Cup stuff, that was a conversation that you guys were all having for about a year prior to the event even happening. So there was a lot of stuff that went into that, and you guys all did a good job. So with that, that is all the comments that we have.
Request a motion to adjourn.
All right. Lastly, we request a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
Member Collier,
Go ahead, Mr.
I move we adjourn this regular meeting of the Raymore Park Board meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Mr. Mapes. With that, all in favor? And that concludes it.